Hello and welcome to Ryno's Ravens Review. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, you can see here I'm on BaltimoreRavens.com. Main page here, Los Angeles Rams 31, Baltimore Ravens 37. Had a walk-off punt return for a win. Pretty nail-biting game yesterday. See what my key talking points are. The whole football team looked like they hadn't played or done anything in 2 weeks. It's probably the worst performance I've ever seen from the Ravens coming off a bye week. It literally looked like they hadn't been playing football or doing any football-related activities. They were rusty as shit. It really did. I mean, it couldn't be because they were playing a good football team, because the Rams aren't that good. They are a pro team and get paid to win and all that, but they're not doing that well this year. So why they could make the Ravens look like that? The only reason is because I say the Ravens play bad. Both sides of the ball look rusty. But what it really came down to was blown coverages by the Rams and a block in the back on that punt return. Yeah, it was a little iffy, and I think that's why it wasn't called. It probably was more of a diagonal block instead of a block in the back, but it was really close. It was very close to being a block in the back, but it wasn't called. And a bunch of nice tightrope walking moves for Tylan Wallace, or what was his name? Something like that. It was one of the most exciting finishes of a Ravens game I think I've ever seen. Especially because it just ended the game. Normally you see it in like baseball, where like a walk-off home run or something, but it was really a punt return off. It was pretty exciting, and I don't know why they want to keep making rules to get rid of plays like that. I understand that it's dangerous. Well, maybe you need to find ways to keep it from being dangerous, because it sure as hell is an exciting place to watch. Oh, bad special teams tackling, I also said, because he broke several tackles on that run. Oh, and the final thing. It's more of a question, I guess. Did Coach Harbaugh actually challenge a scoring play? Did that actually happen? The referees called touchdown on the field. Harbaugh threw his red flag. That actually happened, right? Holy shit. That's stupid. If you wanted to call time, you should have just called timeout. You really threw a challenge flag on a play that is automatically reviewed. Wow. And that's why I think, the Ravens just weren't doing anything the off week, because a good coach would make his team do things in the off week. And you know what? A good coach wouldn't throw his red challenge flag on a play where the referees called touchdown. They're automatically reviewed. If you throw a challenge flag at that, you get charged a timeout. That's bad. It's terrible. All right, let's move on to a different segment. I'm going to start with the offense. Well, I usually start with the offense, but I will completely finish with the offense, because I don't have a whole lot to talk about defense, but I got one thing. First time in a long time you see a Ravens football team that couldn't run the football. It was very odd. Now they did, and for the most part, they did get a few yards here and there, but it's just, I guess basically what I saw was the Rams loaded up to stop the run. They got a few misdirection, or let's say trick play runs with Lamar and speed of Keaton Mitchell, but you see Gus Edwards 6 rushes for 15 yards. That's terrible. Because they were loading up box up to stop the run and trying to make Lamar Jackson beat him with his arm. But then the Rams forgot to cover on the back end. How many wide open players did Lamar Jackson find? 2, 3? Holy shit. I mean, how many times have you ever seen in a game a Ravens pass catcher be that far away from the defense? You don't see it. You just don't see it. Beckham got behind him. Isaiah Likely just wasn't even covered, which is shocking. And as you can see, Likely 5 catches, 83 yards, Long of 54 with a touchdown. Hey, I said he had talent. Apparently, nobody listened to me. At least nobody on the Rams defense. Beckham had a very nice performance against his old team. 4 catches, 97 yards, Long of 46 with a touchdown. Zay Flowers, 6 catches, 60 yards with a touchdown. Lamar spread it around. Aguilar got a few more catches, which is good to see. Of course, they threw the ball a lot more. Part of it is really they couldn't establish a dominant running game. They just really couldn't. I mean, Lamar had, at least it says, 11 rushing attempts. I'm sure some of those are scrambles and drop for a loss. Keaton Mitchell only 9. Gus Edwards 6. 43 pass attempts. Doesn't happen all the time. And it's really tough to say, how good the offense was, because likely that Long of 54 really shouldn't be counted almost, because nobody covered it. I mean, it was a mistake by the Rams. Wasn't anything the Ravens really did well. I mean, they did have motion pre-snap, so maybe they confused the Rams, but I don't know how much credit you should get for that. You let Odell Beckham run by 2 or 3 guys. How many? There were like two guys from the Rams deep on that play, and Beckham just goes by both of them. Well, he's a good player. He's not that fast. Okay? At least not with all them knee surgeries he's had in the past few years. So that's like 100 yards accounted for right there on those 2 plays. So if you take away those 2 plays, Lamar Jackson is 22 for 41 with 216 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. That's a bad game. That's bad. It is. Really stupid thing. Go away, you stupid Microsoft, and wanting to update my damn thing. Go away. Damn computers, I hate them. All right, let's get to NFL.com, and I can look at some more specific stats here. I mean, they had okay averages as far as Lamar and Keaton Mitchell. Of course, Lamar averaging 6 yards a rush really isn't that good. It's okay. But at the same time, you don't want Lamar Jackson carrying the ball more than your running backs. Yeah, as a whole, or in total, Mitchell and Edwards had more attempts combined, but you don't want that either. I mean, you do want that, but you don't want it to have to be combined. You don't want to see Lamar Jackson 11 carries, Keaton Mitchell 9 carries, Gus Edwards 6. No. Lamar needs to have less carries than the running back. Maybe when we get further into the playoffs, assuming we get there, then we can say that, but not until then. And this is one of the reasons I really come to NFL.com is to see the targets here. Yeah, Odell Beckham had 4 catches for almost 100 yards, 10 targets. 10 targets. Likely 5 catches on 7 targets. Flowers, 6 catches on 10 targets. When Aguilar come into the game and gets targeted 5 for 5. Seems like maybe Aguilar should be featured a little more. Because you got to cover Beckham, you got to cover Flowers, you got to cover the tight end position no matter who it is, because it is the Ravens, or really, honestly, any quarterback, because a tight end is a very good security blanket for the quarterback. Usually, they line up around the tackle box, and that's where their routes are. They're right in front of the quarterback instead of having to look all the way left or all the way right for a wide receiver. Maybe not all the time, but for a lot of times, having to look out towards the numbers, you're looking straight ahead towards the hash marks that are right in front of you. It's a lot easier. That's why you say a good tight end is a great security blanket for a quarterback. So then what? Well, if you can have a wide receiver like Aguilar, make it less coverage. He'll get the third or the fourth best cover man on the defense. You need to find ways to get Aguilar involved from the slot position, with other people out there that defense has to key on, because Aguilar is actually kind of an upgrade than maybe your traditional third or fourth option in catching the ball. Yeah, we had even though it was wet, but we had a relatively good game as far as possessing the ball, or not holding on to the football. Technically, they give Tyler Lindenbaugh a fumble here. Really, I don't really like that. I get you had to give him something because it resulted in a safety for the Rams, because apparently Linderbaum just decided to snap the ball and Lamar Jackson had no idea. And of course it goes off of, actually, I mean, it didn't even touch Lamar. Like, it went clearly not even near Lamar and just into the end zone. Thankfully, Lamar kicked the ball out of bounds. I mean, if Lamar would have been paying attention, catching it, I mean, he would have caught it like way over here. Like, what the hell happened that time? It's been a while since we had snap issues between quarterback and center. Not sure what happened there. Oh, what else? What other crap do I have here? Oh, yeah, the Lamar interception. And honestly, on a few of the plays that even where coverage broke down for the Rams, Lamar didn't have. He threw the balls. What the hell? What the hell words do I want to use here to say it? He underthrew the ball a lot. Even though likely is wide open, he's and he's like, hey, I'm over here. He still had to stop, turn back towards Lamar to catch the ball instead of, catching it more out in front of him in stride. Beckham had to do the same thing. Beckham had pretty much had to stop running, flop around on the goal line, which was almost behind him, to be able to catch the ball because Lamar underthrew it. And on the interception, Bateman had his man beat. If Lamar Jackson could have thrown the ball, say, a foot, 2 feet further, wouldn't have been an interception. But again, he underthrew it because Bateman had to come back this way, and that brought the cornerback back into the play. Cornerback was beat until Lamar underthrew it. So not great performance there. All right, that's enough about the offense. Defense really didn't look that good. At least What do I have? Interior of the D-line was getting manhandled most of the game. At least it really looked like that because Pierce and Matabike didn't have that great of games run stopping. They really didn't. Rams running back ran all over the place. They were running at will. Now they did make some nice plays. They did. They only had 2 sacks, which is low. Matabike, Travis Jones each with a sack. See Van Noy with 2, Roquan with 2, Brandon Stevens with 1, Hamilton with 1. Rams like to do a lot of that screen nonsense. Ravens blew that up pretty well. One of the big talks about this year was the late additions of the pass rushers of Van Noy and Clowney. Really late additions because, like, where are Owe and Ajabo and how good are they? But it's like these guys are the future. You drafted them high. You brought in special pass rushing coach to teach these guys, and what's it getting? Nothing. You've gotten lucky that Van Noy and Clowney were available and wanted to come here. And those 2 have rewarded your what's the word, I guess? Your willingness to shop for veterans late. Because Van Noy, he had one big key blow up of a screenplay, which he has. Clowney was very quiet. He had a very quiet game. I mean, the Rams' offensive line seemed to put in a lot of work. The Rams, as far as, in my opinion, definitely won the battle in the trenches. The problem was, I think, like, they just didn't cover on the back end. And the Ravens, for the most part, covered very well on the back end. Very well, I guess it is debatable. Yeah, they did come up with good coverages at times. Like being able to recognize screens, get out there and make a stop. And where my final thought on the defense is Marcus Williams' penalty early in the game, which I think I certainly understand the need to protect football players and their physical and or mental health. But come on now. I don't care if you're a receiver and you're jumping up to catch the football. When the football is in your hands, you have to allow defenders, to make contact. You have to allow this. Otherwise, what's the point of having defenders out there? Oh, because the guy trying to catch the ball, he has the ball in his hands, is in a certain position you're not allowed to contact. So we have to let him continue down the field. Okay. I guess, though, from what I saw, the receiver's running down the field. He turns back, catches the ball, turns back around, puts one foot down, and I'm going to say as soon as the other foot comes down, that's when Marcus Williams hits him. So 1 feet, 2 feet, turned up field. How is he not a ball carrier? Okay. And at the same time, if you are a wide receiver and you're 6 feet tall, you catch the ball, safety's coming over here. The safety slides on his knee to make a stop on you, and your helmets connect. How do you throw the flag on a defender for unnecessary roughness? It doesn't even make any sense. You have one man that's up here. He's 6 foot tall. You have a safety coming in to make a stop, who actually has given up his body and is laying out on the ground. He's on the ground. Williams' knee is on the ground when he makes contact with, was it Robinson, I think? Well, if Williams is down here with his helmet, and the receiver's up here with his helmet, Williams is on the ground. He doesn't get up. How do these two helmets meet? How? The only way is if the receiver brings his helmet down onto the defender. So why is it a penalty on a defender? You have to allow the defender to be there to make a stop. You can't tell him that he can't make a stop. You have to tell the receivers, stop bringing your head on the defenders. Or honestly, because of the nature of the play itself, to me, you have to roll it incidental helmet-to-helmet contact. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about your safety at that point. And if you do, then don't play football. Yes, you have to be allowed to catch the football. Well, the defender has to be allowed to make contact to stop you. To stop your forward progress. Otherwise, why is the defense out there? It shouldn't exist then. If your helmets come together, it has to be rolled as incidental. And okay, the receiver may have been in a defenseless position. Well, he had 1 foot on the ground. He turned upfield, and I say he had 2 feet on the ground. That's pretty defensible to me, I think. And again, he's up here. The defender's down here. So maybe if you look at the rule book, a player on the ground is also in a defenseless position. Yes, I looked at the rule book there. Now, define player on the ground. I say Marcus Williams was on his knee, but is that on the ground? I don't know exactly. I didn't comb the rule book that much, but if Marcus Williams had a football, his knees on the ground, and he was touched, he would be down by contact. So wouldn't that also mean player on the ground and therefore in a defenseless position? So they were both in a defenseless position. They both sold out to do their job. Receiver put his body on the line to make a catch. Defender put his body on the line to stop forward progress of a ball carrier. That sounds like football. Or throw the penalty flag on both of them because they're both being irresponsible with their body. But no, let me see, then it has to be incidental contact. You can't flag one person on that 15 yards. Because I watched that Eagles and Cowboys game, and I'm looking at, I guess it was the tight end for the Cowboys, catch a football, and Blankenship for the Eagles, similar style of tackle for a safety where he goes low and is practically on the ground to make a tackle. Well, again, here comes a tight end. He wasn't in the process of making a catch. He was a ball carrier at that point. There's nobody draped around him. He comes in there, makes contact with his helmet, uses his helmet as a weapon to hit the safety. No flags. And that's what's really got me pissed off. Offensive players are given carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they want with their helmets. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But then you actually have defenders trying to make a conscious effort to keep their helmets away from the offensive guy who's up here. So they go low. You bring your head down. Your helmets should not meet. How are the helmets meeting? Whose fault is it? Okay. Rant over. Move on. How the hell do I usually end these videos? I'm so fired up. I was fired up last night about all that bullshit. Fired up again, and now it's like, well, shit. Now it's time to end the video. What am I doing? All right. Wrap this up. Los Angeles Rams came into Baltimore, put up a hell of a fight, try to beat the Ravens, but the Ravens emerged victorious due, well, to some luck and some skill. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Walk-off punt return for a touchdown in overtime is an exciting way to win a game. So that was week 14. Week 14. Oh. All right, well, I'm going to change this here. Week 14. Properly label my notes. That is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Ravens Review. I will do a Ryno's Ravens preview show this Saturday when the Jacksonville Jaguars come into town. If you like the video and subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified when videos like this drop. I am the Angry Ryno. Fly, Ravens, fly.